I'm Karen and welcome back to my channel. As promised, today I'm going to do a wrap up, but I had a little bit of a look and I haven't done a wrap up since September. Oops. So what I'll do is I'll start with February and I'll go backwards month per month. Hope you're in your comfortable seat because this might take a little bit of a while. Now, I read 3 books in February and I started with The Territory to Escape by Sarah Govett. Now, as you may know, I did an event with Sarah Govett together with Alwyn Hamilton and Katherine Weber at Octavo's in January. So I'd read the first one and so I actually immediately picked this up afterwards. I don't want to talk too much about this book because I've done a review of the first book and it'll be somewhere up here, and I think you should read that first and then immediately read this. They're not super long, but they're really good. I really enjoyed the second one and I can't wait to see where the third book in the trilogy goes. So Sarah, come on, I want it now. Thank you. The second book I read in February was We Should All Be Feminist by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I hope I'm saying that right. If I don't, please correct me down below in the comments. I'm sure one of you will know how to properly pronounce her name. This is kind of a version of Chimamanda's TED Talk from a couple of years ago. And I absolutely love this. This is really short. I recommend you buy this for all the women in your life. I probably will be given this a lot as birthday presents and Christmas presents and just because you're an awesome woman kind of presents. I read this for Feminist Literature February, which I was supposed to read tons more books for but didn't manage to, so yeah, but I definitely recommend this. It really didn't take me that long and it's really, really good. The third and final book I read in February was Between the Raven and the Dove by Sophia Kingshill. This is going to be published by Accent Press in May of 2017. I am so excited for this book. This is probably one of my favourite YAs we're doing this year. It's about a 13-year-old girl called Mag, and she's always lived in this kind of institute for mentally insane people together with her dad who's caretaker there. And then one day, one of the inmates, who's usually very quiet and doesn't speak to anybody at all, tells Mag that she's her mother and that she's a witch, and then hopefully she'll come into powers soon enough because apparently lots of people are after her. I'm not explaining this very well at all, but I love this book so much. I think it's kind of more near the younger end of YA, but I feel that as the series will kind of progress, it'll probably get a bit older. I absolutely love the magic system in this. They call it deep music in the book, and it's just yes. It's kind of a paranormal, magical realism book set in our present day. So next up is January, and I only read 2 books in January, but both of them were pretty amazing, so let's do it. First book I read in January was Traitor to the Throne by Alwyn Hamilton. I got a beautiful review copy. Thank you so much to Faber and Faber. I didn't get around to reading it until just before the event I did with Alwyn. This is book 2 in the Rebel of the Sand series and I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit slower than the first book, but I feel like it kind of expanded on the world a lot. The only thing that I didn't really like that much is I wanted more gin. I just want to see more of Jen, but we do meet some new characters who are wonderful, and so it is really like broadening the world and explaining a lot about what happened in book 1 and about the people that are referred to in book 1. A lot of them we get to meet, such as the Sultan. It's fascinating. I really enjoyed it. Also, it's so beautiful. It's just gorgeous. You know, I love a bit of good foiling. The second and final book I read in January was The Territory by Sarah Govett. I have a full review video, I'll put it up here. I really enjoyed this. I feel like Firefly Press is doing so well with their YA titles. They're picking them really well, they're really well edited, they're just fast and pacey and engaging. This is kind of an environmental dystopia, but it also has strong social commentary on education, which I found very fascinating. Because, you know, I used to be a teacher, so this was completely up my street. Highly recommend it. See the video above. So we made it to 2016. Whee! December of 2016 was actually quite a good reading month for me. I think I finished about 5 books, but I also had a couple of shorter ones in there. Plus I had some time off around Christmas, which is perfect to get some reading done. First book I finished in December was Windwitch by Susan Dennard. Holy shitballs, you guys! I love this series so much, and I feel like book 2 is even better than book 1, and I just can't wait to have book 3 because book 3 is going to be from the perspective of Adrian, and I'm just like, yes, Susan Dennard, please, more of this. Also, I really prefer the UK cover for Windwitch to the US one, which is funny because I really preferred the US one for Truthwitch, so let's see what I think of the next one. And also I have a full review video above. Go check it out. I'm getting this massive pile on the side. I'm like, please don't fall. The second book I finished in December of 2016 was Wing Jones by Katherine Webber. Again, I have a full review video above. I can just say that I loved this book. I absolutely adored it. I'm not usually a contemporary reader, but I just really enjoyed this, and I mean, it's so gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to Katherine's next books because she kind of talked about some of the ideas she's got for her next books at the event that I did with her, so I am really excited. She's so lovely. This is just a really lovely, in ways heartbreaking, yet very hopeful read. Plus I love the two grandmas. I mean, great family dynamics are always something that I love in books, so yeah, this was completely up my street. The next book I read in December was a novella, and it was the 2016 World Book Day novella that Rainbow Rowell did called Kindred Spirits, and this I loved so much. It was about Star Wars and fandom, and it was adorable. If you haven't read this yet, do. It took me about half an hour maybe, I don't know. It was so adorable, so lovely, so great. So yeah, definitely check it out. It was also really perfect to just read while I was back at Dean's family for Christmas and he was watching the rugby, and I was just reading, and it was just really nice. The next book I read in December was Fantastic Mr. Dahl by Michael Rosen. This is kind of like a biography of Roald Dahl, written by Michael Rosen. He's done a lot of research. There's a lot of like letters from when Roald Dahl was younger to his family, which just show the kind of wit and writing style he really had when he was younger. So I found this really interesting. Again, it's not that long, but because Michael Rosen is such a great author, he just kind of tells a story. He does say that it is not 100% accurate biography. This is more kind of his impression of Roald Dahl, which I thought added to the book. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Also, Michael Rosen is really nice and really lovely, and I got to meet him, and he really literally signs his books by saying, "Hello Karen, Michael Rosen was here," which I think is brilliant. He's also one of the nicest authors I've ever met in my life. I've met a lot of them, but he is the kindest man ever. He is so nice. I just love Michael Rosen. The fifth and final book I read in December of 2016 was The Alchemist of Loom by Elise Kova, and I managed to finish on the 31st of December, like a couple of hours to go. I have a full review video above. I want more steampunk YA. I really want more steampunk YA. Elise writes so engagingly. Her characters are wonderful. The relationships, the dynamics. I just want more. I can't wait for the next book. Yes, great read. Also, how gorgeous is that cover? Seriously. If you can see the detailing on it, so nice. Oh my god, so good. We're nearly there. We made it to November. The first book I read in November was Luca, Son of the Morning by Tom Anderson, which I didn't finish. I struggled to about halfway. It's a weird book. It's a great idea. I feel like the writing style is great. I feel the idea is good. It just wasn't for me, and halfway through I just got completely confused, which doesn't happen that often, and usually I try to power through, but I just couldn't. Yeah. Hopefully this might be for you if you write like really absurd magical realism. This will be totally your thing, just not mine. The next book I read in November, I actually did finish, and it was Michael Rosen's Sad book. Oh my god, you guys, you will need tissues for this. This is literally Michael Rosen talking about when his son died, and it's illustrated by Quentin Blake. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it is so lovely, but then at times it's just, I mean, it's so sad, and it's such a beautiful representation of grief in all its many ways and forms and facets, and you know, you don't have to be sad all the time, but sad will come and find you sometimes. I think I highly recommend this to anybody at any age. Basically, read this to your children, seriously. Again, Michael Rosen's awesome, so yes. The next book I read in November was Alien Rain by Ruth Morgan. I have been singing the praises of Firefly Press a lot, but they are doing great work. I think I did a full review video and I'll put it up there. It's gonna be lots of review videos. This is set far in the future. We've all kind of emigrated to Mars because Earth wasn't livable anymore. It's literally about Bree, who's an ordinary teenager living on Mars, and she gets picked for a mission to Earth, which is quite unusual because she's not, you know, the top % of her class or anything. And I don't want to tell you anything more, but they do go to Earth, and it's so cool when you live in Cardiff because it describes so many places from Cardiff, and I just love that. So yeah. Also, I want book 2 with Morgan. I still want book 2. I'm still waiting for it. Come on. And the last book I read in November was Blackheath by Gabriella Lepore. I may have talked about this before, but I enjoyed this book so much. The family relationships between the 4 brothers was what made this book amazing for me. I do love some witches, especially if they're boy witches, and so I think this was great. Gabriella describes that like a paranormal fantasy romance, which I think describes it really well. It just, yeah, I highly recommend it. It's been a while since I read it, but I want to maybe have a little reread because I want to read book 2 in the series. And finally, we have come to October 2016. The reason I didn't do a wrap up for that is because I only read one book, and that was Cricket Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Holy crap, you guys. This book was everything I wanted and more. Leigh Bardugo is now kind of my idol. Also, I got to meet her in October, which was amazing, and I finished this on the bus to the event in London, so I was like, ah! No, seriously, I highly recommend the Six of Crows duology to anyone. You don't really have to read the Grish trilogy ahead of it, but it does help because there's a lot of little cameos in especially this book, which kind of, you know, it's nice to be in on the inside jokes. Also, I got the Kaz card when I was at the event. I love this. It's staying in this book forever. I can't wait for Leigh Bardugo's next books. I want to read her Wonder Woman book. I want to read her next series. I'm so excited. Yes, Leigh Bardugo all the time, everything. So there you have it. I'm all caught up with my wrap-ups. These are all the books I've read in the past couple of months. Hopefully I'll get to read a little bit more. I do feel that now that I have a lot to read for work, I have less time and I'm less energy, and I haven't been making videos and I haven't been writing that much, but hopefully once I settle into the job a little bit more, that will really help. It's really nice though to just be around books and to be working on helping authors promote their books all the time. One of those things I'm really passionate about, so that's great. I just want more reading time. So what are your favorites of the books that I've read in the past couple of months? Do let me know down below. Are there any books that you think I really should be reading right now? Do let me know as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to all of you very soon. Bye.